24 hours after witnessing the travesty with Naomi from Monday Night Raw. That's right, Naomi finally appeared on TV. Naomi was finally used on Monday Night Raw. The only time on Monday night, the only moment where I showed signs of life, the only moment where the Amplified man got a pulse in him was when I heard Naomi's music blast through the arena. And I saw Naomi come through the curtain. And just 2 minutes later, Naomi was getting pinned by Alexa Bliss. Just 2 minutes later. And then 24 hours later, the only signs of life that the Amplified man showed during Smackdown Live, the only pulse that I had really beaten was when Ember Moon's music blasted through the arena. And here's Ember Moon finally being used. And 90 seconds later, Ember Moon is being pinned simplistically by Sonya Deville. Naomi, not used for the longest time, and when she finally is used, she's losing in 2 minutes. Ember Moon, not put in any prominent role since she's debuted on the main roster more than a year ago. And when she's finally used, she's beat in 90 seconds. That's how Vince McMahon uses talents like Naomi and Ember Moon. And you're telling me you blame Sasha Banks for walking the fuck out? That was her booking too. Don't kid yourself. I don't know what Vince McMahon has against Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, Naomi. But whatever he's got against them, it's pretty severe because he gives them nothing. The only reason Naomi got that championship is because of movements like we had on this channel when we started sending those hashtags and really beating down on the suits and ties to give Naomi that chance. Sasha Banks gets titles for what? A week or 2 weeks tops? 4 title reigns for Sasha Banks equaled what? Not even 3 months? Equaled? Combined? Ember Moon can't even get a storyline, and she's been there over a year. Is it 'cause they're not your precious blonde bombshells, Vince? Is that what it is? They don't have the look that you like, the look that you think is gonna sell? No, here's a concept. They actually have talent. They have skill. I don't care if people think this is shade being thrown. I don't give a shit anymore. When you're telling me that talents like Naomi, Sasha Banks, Ember Moon aren't better than Mandy Rose or Alexa or Sonya? Come on, bro. You got a couple 2-3 screws loose up in your dome piece if you're gonna tell the Amplified man that. At least if this was like a Charlotte Flair, we can start the discussion. We can say, hey, we can believe that maybe it's a fluke. Ember lost in 2 minutes, but this wouldn't happen again. Ember would regroup, strategize much better, and it would be a dynamite match. Charlotte, Ember. At least Charlotte in that position, we can begin a conversation. Maybe it could be a fluke reality. Sonya Deville, that simplistically, I don't care if there were 6 other people causing a distraction on the outside. Ember Moon is going to whoop that ass because she's that fucking talented. If you don't think so, if you don't think she's talented, you don't think she has skill, you obviously never saw her career. Not even just NXT. But when she was on those indies, she could rock the entire division. And that's how you're booking her? Some of the best wrestlers in the world, female-wise, are actually in WWE. Your Kairi Sanes, your Asukas, your Ember Moons. And instead, it's the same fucking shit, literally. As in, 2 years ago at Extreme Rules, we were seeing Bayley and Alexa Bliss. Bayley and Alexa Bliss for the strap 2 years ago. Here we are 2 years later, and in those 2 years, the main roster has gotten talents like Kairi, Asuka, Ember. They had Sasha there, and what are they doing 2 years later? They're doing the same exact match that nobody cared about 2 years ago. They're doing it again 2 years later, Bayley versus Alexa, and that remains one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life from Extreme Rules 2017. Go back to Extreme Rules 2017, watch that Bayley and Alexa match, and you tell me that's not one of the worst you've ever seen. And here we are 2 years later, and we're getting the same shit. Vince is doubling down, his ego, his pride. He heard all the negative reviews on that match 2 years ago, and he's saying, let's give it to him again. But Vince, there's a lot of other women on the roster very capable of putting on a damn good pay-per-view match. Vince, with Alexa if you need to, with Bayley, they're here. No, let's give them Bayley and Alexa. Vince, that match wasn't very good before. Let's do it again. Like Vince gives a fuck anyway. Either he forgot about it or he just doesn't give a shit about it. But the Amplified Man doesn't forget travesty like that. 2 years ago, worst match I've ever seen in pro wrestling, or at least right up there with the worst. And here we are 2 full years later, and I have Naomi being beat in 2 minutes. I got Ember Moon being beat in 90 seconds, and I get Alexa going for the strap again at the second straight pay-per-view against Bayley, and 2 years after her travesty with Bayley at Extreme Rules. These are facts. 2 years. Where's the women's evolution? There is none. Vince's blonde bombshells remain his top priority. Even Mandy Rose gets more screen time than Naomi and Ember Moon combined. You could even throw in Sasha Banks when she was wrestling full-time with the company. Throw all 3 of them in there, Mandy Rose was still getting more time, more storylines. If you tell me right now, what are the storylines I'm going to remember with Ember Moon so far on the main roster and Mandy Rose, I can only think of one, that's Mandy Rose and the whole Uso storyline. Naomi was in that, and she was an afterthought. You're only going to remember the Usos and Mandy. Why? Why is that the case? Because Vince strategically made that to where you're only going to remember Mandy Rose. Ember Moon? You're not going to tell me you know a storyline that she was in. You're not going to remember any. You know why? She wasn't used in any. They gave her nothing. If you're okay with this, man, you are the exact reason why this company is where it's at today. BC, I like it, so that's just your opinion. Is it just my opinion? Or why don't you go look on the photos of this whole weekend from these live events? From Stomping Grounds pay-per-view to Monday Night Raw to Smackdown Live. Look at the photos, the attendance, the arena. Half of the entire arena, the entire left side for all 3 events, totally tarped off. Nobody's showing up anymore. Is it just my opinion, or is the product suffering? A slow, and now it's really on a fast lane to just death. That's it. No longer a slow death, it's just on the fast lane to it now, because Vince is doubling and tripling down on his stupidity. People aren't showing up. Why would they? The most talented wrestlers aren't getting any airtime. They're not even being used most of the time. But if you show up to the arena, you'll see Sonya Deville win in 2 minutes. You'll see amazing talents like Daniel Bryan, a tag team champion, lose both on Monday Night Raw and on Smackdown Live. For a combined 10 minutes for both losses. You'll see the New Day cut a 10-minute promo every night. Why wouldn't you want to show up? You'll see Seth Rollins in the middle of the ring, and then Baron Corbin will interrupt him every night for an entire year. Why wouldn't you want to buy a ticket? What do you mean it's redundant? This is criminal, how they have treated Naomi and how they have treated Ember Moon. And I don't blame Sasha Banks because it is criminal how they treated her as well. Bayley's got that title as a consolation prize. This was a little fucking back with Sasha Banks. Yeah, you left. Well, guess what? Your best friend now has the title. But if you thought for 1 second Vince wasn't going to have Alexa Bliss in that limelight, you had another thing coming. Because it seems like the moment Bayley got it, Alexa Bliss has been the focal point of that title. Even though we're 2 years later, 2 years after Extreme Rules 2017, and the company has not evolved one iota. This company has not evolved. There has not been an evolution at all with the women's division. It is the same mindset for Vince McMahon. It's a hot little blonde. Let's put him in there. Charlotte requested some time off, so his precious baby girl isn't getting any time right now. She's been backstage at several events, but they're going to repackage her a little bit, give her some more time off. That's one thing. Charlotte would have been a main focal point too, I assure you. Mandy Rose is doing some weird little storyline with Sonya Deville. It looks like they're going to be doing some woman-on-woman type storyline there. Hey, man. Dude, if Mandy Rose is going to be out there looking like a whole bag of sexy as fuck, then hey, Amplified man's down. But it's sad when she's getting more airtime than Ember Moon and Naomi combined. And then, of course, Alexa Bliss, Vince's other blonde bombshell, she's always in the title picture. So you can't argue the fact that that's what Vince looks at as what sells. Vince has to realize we've moved on from the mindset of just the women being sexy as fuck. They can also go in the ring today. And Vince has to get with the times and let these female wrestlers wrestle. It's not just limited to the females. The dudes are going out there and Vince isn't even giving them the time. 99% of the time. But he's got to understand, he's got some of the most exceptional female talent in his lap right now, and he's utilizing them how? 90-second taking of the L's. Just like Pac-Man, eating up all the losses in the fucking division. We need somebody to job out. Where's Ember? She's out today, Vince. She's doing a fucking promotional appearance. Well, where's Naomi? Vince, she requested time off because she was frustrated with how she was being used. Well, then where's Sasha? Sasha's already left the company because she was frustrated, Vince. Well, who the hell do we have? Where's Bianca Belair? Vince, she's in NXT. That's Vince's mindset. Until you can prove me otherwise, that's Vince's mindset. This is an exact quote from Ember Moon. After Smackdown went off the air, she took to her social media and she put, and I quote, this is from Ember Moon, "I am tired of getting up every time I fall and trying to fight the fight I will never be able to win." She said, "From injuries to obscurities, tonight has defeated me in more ways than we know." Let me say that part again. From injuries to obscurities, tonight has defeated me in more ways than we know. If you don't think she takes pride in what she does, if you don't think she wants to go out there and perform what she has crafted, what she has owned from day one, what she has tried to perfect, and she has better than 90% of the females in this world, there's only about 10% I would put in a league of Ember Moon. 5 of that percent is really in Japan if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty. Do I think she's also pumping up her story with Sonya and Mandy? Story? Do you call it that? 90-second defeat? But do I think she's trying to lash out at WWE? No, I think she's just playing into the cards that she's been dealt, and she's showing that on social media. But deep down, her feeling is, I'm better than this. You had so much hope for her in NXT, just like you did Asuka and everyone else, really. And for those that say, BC, relax, they can easily bounce back from this. This is no harm, no foul, BC. People will forget about this in a couple weeks. No, they won't. I won't. I know a lot of people like me with a brain in their don't piece, we won't. Look at the dudes. You tell me how long it is going to take WWE to rectify the wrongs that they have made with Andrade. Andrade is ruined. Do you know what it's going to take to make a talent like Andrade, who's amazing? Do you know what it's going to take for this company to actually make him something again? They're going to have to move mountains because subconsciously we're always taking inventory of wins and losses. And that really helps us determine if somebody is a winner or a loser. Us smart fans know what people like Andrade are capable of, but when he's been used as a joke, a sideshow, and a clown for so long, that's how subconsciously we start to view them. Because we no longer believe in them because the company doesn't. Subconsciously, they're ruined. And the subconscious sometimes is way more powerful than the actual conscious we have up front. Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre. I can keep going on and on with exceptional talents that WWE has ruined, and it is going to take moving mountains to try to get them to be somebody again. That's the truth. Ember Moon is in that equation. She is in that fucking problem that needs to be solved. She has been here for way too long and doesn't even have one significant storyline. No specific match that we could say, wow, Ember was fucking amazing, because Vince never even gave her a chance. Naomi should have been a 10-time fucking champion by now. What the fuck is she? What is she? Just a dancing sideshow to Vince? Don't tell me about mic skill. Well, Ember and Naomi would be better if they had mic skill. What are you talking about? Think of every female in that division. 99% aren't the fucking greatest on the mic, are they? Exactly. Charlotte Flair, maybe? Dynamite on the mic? Who else is Dynamite on the mic when it comes to the females? You're not going to tell me anyone. You might try to say, such and such is good, BC, and even then, I'll question it. But exceptional? No. Just Charlotte. Stephanie McMahon really doesn't count. She's not really a part of the division. Paige, kinda, sorta, sometimes. She's not an active fucking participant either. Unfucking real to see this actually happen in real time. 24 hours apart from one another. To see Naomi do a job to pump up Alexa, and to see Ember do a job like that 24 hours later to pump up Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. That's my opening fucking monologue for Smackdown Live for June 20, what was it, 5th? It's the calendar say, 25th of 2019. Now we get on to the fucking actual show. And if you think I'm going to be any less amplified, you're thinking wrong. Because this show did no better than Monday Night Raw. The only fucking positive with this show is that it wasn't 3 hours. That's the only positive I can tell you. Let's start from the top. And of course, the New Day kicks off the show. They always kick off the show. They're the only ones that Vince can go to kinda, sorta fire up a crowd because he failed to create any real superstars in the last 15 fucking years. So, New Day's gotta go out there. Do your little shtick. Oh, Portland. Oh, New York. Oh, Tallahassee. Oh, Shoddy. It's getting so stale. Honestly, Big E needs to just separate from this, go off on his own, and be the badass heel that he was meant to be, collecting championships along the way. Stop being just one of three. Our champion of the world, our WWE champion, is still tossing pancakes to all the 5-year-olds in attendance. This group, man, once in a blue moon they can give you something funny, but it's just stale now. Let's see what they can do elsewhere. And on top of that, it's just boring now. So Kofi goes out there with New Day, and they're cutting some lines on Samoa Joe, who isn't even there. Samoa Joe jumps Kofi Kingston the night before, and automatically we're all assuming, hey, that's the Extreme Rules match. Because in our dome pieces, we know that's what that meant. But storyline-wise, to the casual fan, they didn't know that. All of a sudden, this attack just leads to Kofi saying, at Extreme Rules, Samoa Joe, I'm gonna get my retribution. And people are like, wait, that's an Extreme Rules? All he did was jump you from behind and he gets a championship match? Well, shit, if that's the case, count me in. That's how you get promotions? Go to your job and just start jumping your fucking manager. Just fucking attacking him with a steel chair from behind. Now I got my promotion and my raise, right? No, you're fired. What do you mean? I jumped you. I attacked you. Give me my money. It makes zero sense. Joe doesn't even show up last night. You thought there would be something, like, get me invested in this. Why am I going to care about a guy that just dropped the championship of the United States 24 hours earlier, and then the next night, he's attacking a guy from behind because he's pissed off. And all of a sudden now, he's got an opportunity at that title? Give me a reason to care about this. Otherwise, Joe is just going to lose this match just like he loses every other big match. No, he doesn't even show up, so Kofi's cutting some lines on Joe, and instead, we get Dolph Ziggler. I thought this was over. We saw it at Super Showdown. Nobody needed to see it. We saw it at Stomping Grounds. Nobody needed to see it. Dolph interrupts and tells Kofi that they have a match later in the night. 2 out of 3 falls. Management told him such. Whose management? Finley? The same guy that put Becky Lynch in the Royal Rumble when she wasn't even a part of the fucking match? Is it the same management that gave Brock Lesnar a spot in Money in the Bank when he was never one of the participants? Or is it the same management that put Charlotte Flair in a championship match with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch when she wasn't even on that fucking roster? Wasn't even a part of this whole fucking story? The same person that put Kevin Owens in a championship match the day he came back to WWE? Is that the management we're talking about? So management tells Dolph he's going to have a 2 out of 3 falls match with Kofi later in the night. 2 out of 3 falls, that's the new thing. You better get used to it because they don't wrestle anymore during commercial. That's the new rule. So they don't get creative. The only thing they have right now is 2 out of 3 fall matches. Because then after a fall, they can reset, they call it, and go to commercial. Or you're going to see a lot of elimination tag matches. So they can reset. This is already horribly tragic. This is worse than anything I've ever seen in this fucking company. And I've seen a lot of worse shit. And this is already going to drive me fucking crazy. This is already going to have me putting my head through every single New York City cement wall. 2 out of 3 falls. They're already putting this into a cement wall. Every single New York City cement wall. They're driving this into the ground. This 2 out of 3 bullshit. And the big carrot that they're dangling, the reason we should care is because if Dolph beats Kofi, Dolph is placed into Kofi and Samoa Joe's Extreme Rules match in a couple weeks. We don't give a fuck. That's what you're keeping us around for the entire Smackdown show? I know gone are the days of Austin. Gone are the days of The Rock. Gone are the days of badass cerebral assassin Triple H and the real prime Undertaker. Gone are those days. But now really, this is how low we've hit. The big story for the night is if Dolph can beat Kofi to become a participant in a triple threat bullshit match at a bullshit pay-per-view. Dolph Ziggler is the big storyline. 2 months now, and nobody cared from day one. And that's the best they got. And that was the whole opening segment. Dolph just telling Kofi they have a match later in the night, and if he wins, he's part of the Samoa Joe Kofi match. That's what's supposed to captivate you from the first minute on SmackDown. No pyro, no badass fucking feel, vibes, or atmosphere. Just Kofi cutting some lines on Samoa. Samoa's not even there. Dolph comes out, says he wants a chance again. And then a minute later, I can't make this up, Shane McMahon is backstage telling Elias that he'll be taking on Miz later in the night. Also, 2 out of 3 falls. 2 out of 3 fall matches. Awesome. Thanks, man. Wanna go pod racing? Extreme fun. At this point, we were on the edge of our seat. Wow. Miz and Elias, 2 out of 3 falls. Kofi and Dolph, 2 out of 3 falls. Gotta set up those commercials. This is excitement. And if you weren't excited, if your pulse wasn't really fucking just coming alive last night in the first 15 minutes. Then we went into the New Day versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Now this was only about 5 minutes because we have to get to commercial and we can no longer wrestle during commercial, so we have to end the match. How did they do this? They had the New Day defeat your champions of the world, champions on the Smackdown brand anyway, Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Defeated, second night in a row. They were just defeated 24 hours earlier on Monday Night Raw. And who took that defeat on Raw? It was Daniel Bryan in just 3 minutes. Who took the defeat last night on SmackDown? Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, one of the best wrestlers still to this day in the world, and he's eating L's like nobody's business. He's eating L's at a faster rate than Mandy Rose is getting airtime, and that's nearly impossible, but that's how fast he's eating these L's like Pac-Man. And he's a champion, mind you. He's Daniel Bryan, first of all. On top of that, he has a championship title, and he's losing every time he's going out there. BC, people will forget about it. It's alright, BC. Vince knows what he's doing. It's scripted entertainment, BC. Relax. Oh my fucking A, man. Lord forbid I just want top talent to be treated as such. Is that so much to ask? Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be a backup quarterback on the Packers. Justin Verlander wouldn't be a middle relief pitcher. Kyrie Irving wouldn't be a sixth man off the bench. Your top talent gets treated as such. Not in the WWE. If you're exceptionally skilled, you go to the bottom. In the WWE, when you have a championship, that just means you're going to be a glorified loser. So after Daniel Bryan eats this L and Bryan and Rowan, the champions, lose to the New Day, Owens and Zayn come out to attack the New Day. This brings out Heavy Machinery to come out and attack Owens and Zayn. And we go to commercial, and we all are envisioning what's to come. We know what's to come. Holla, 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 playa. Lazy booking time. 24 hours after their lazy booking of an 8-man tag schmaz, 24 hours later last night, we come back from commercial. 8-man lazy book schmaz match. New Day and Heavy Machinery versus Bryan, Rowan, and Owens and Zayn. Same bullshit from Monday night. Same exact bullshit. And that was the bulk of your first hour. Sure enough, we come back from commercial, and there it was, man. There's the 8-man schmaz. Lazy booking. It's easy to book. Let's just throw everybody out there. We ain't got to give any fucking creativity. It'll take up time. They'll eat that shit up. So that means Daniel Bryan, like Heavy Machinery, actually got the win for their team, them in the New Day. That means Daniel Bryan lost twice last night. Twice. Doesn't matter if the defense loses the game for you, the offense loses the game too, because you're all a team. Bryan was on that team. He loses twice last night, once on Raw. That's 3 losses in 24 hours on television for your champions. Awesome. Great shit. This is good. It's good shit. And how do we end hour number 1? We go into Elias versus The Miz. 2 out of 3 falls. Elias gets fall 1. We go to commercial. We have to reset. Fall number 2, Miz gets by DQ because Shane McMahon interfered. And that's the end of hour number 1. Hour number 2 started off with fall number 3. But this was really just Shane and Elias destroying The Miz after fall number 2. So Elias gets an easy pin for fall number 3. Elias wins the match. And the carrot that was being dangled for this is that if Miz was able to defeat Elias 2 out of 3 falls, Miz would get another chance at Shane. Gives a fuck, bro. Post-match, Shane went coast to coast on The Miz and was screaming in his face. Listen, a lot of people give Shane McMahon a lot of flack because he's taking a lot of TV time. But the truth is, Shane McMahon is showing a lot more heart, passion, and fury than 90% of that fucking roster right now. But on the flip side, you can't blame the roster for being demoralized. They're probably depressed into a fucking hole of insecurity at this point. They're probably questioning their own abilities. Backstage, in case you forgot who the IC champion was or if the belt even existed, we saw Finn Balor. Easily. Finn Balor is easily the most forgettable Intercontinental Champion in recent memory. I have to keep reminding myself that the belt even exists and that Finn Balor is the champion. We get a face-to-face backstage between Balor and Shinsuke. That's some NXT nostalgia. That's Balor's next big match. So people that love wrestling and know their NXT history, you know that Balor and Shinsuke, they can go. They've done it before. However, I'm not going to get excited because this is under the main roster umbrella and we know Vince will find every fucking way to screw that up. So I go into this with zero expectations, and if they put on a Dynamite match like their NXT one, then I'm more than fucking welcoming to that thought. But I'm not even going to pre-think it. That makes sense. Nikki Cross is up next. If she beats Bayley, Alexa Bliss gets another shot at Bayley's championship at Extreme Rules. Who's making these decisions? This is dumb. If Dolph beats Kofi after he already lost twice, he gets to be a part of a championship match. If Nikki Cross beats Bayley, somehow Alexa gets another shot. You guys see what I'm saying? This doesn't make sense. And of course, Nikki Cross defeats Bayley in like 5 minutes. So Alexa Bliss gets to take on Bayley. All of this talent in the female division, and that's the best they can do. A rematch from 2 years ago, almost to the date, for Extreme Rules 2017, Bayley and Alexa, and a rematch from just a couple weeks ago. Or no, it'll be a couple weeks come Extreme Rules. This was just past fucking Sunday, Stomping Grounds, another rematch, Bayley and Alexa. That's all this is. A match that nobody wants to see because these two just don't click together. Ember Moon is up next against Sonya Deville. I already went over this. The fact that Ember was in the ring getting airtime was fucking astonishing to me. I was like, what? Ember being used? Again, Mandy Rose was out there looking like a bag of sexy as fuck. Legs for days. I was like, whoa. I knew she was banging. I didn't think it was to that level. Such is life. Man, I tell you, bro. I don't know. That's a whole nother bag. Oh, sexy as fuck. Anyway, and I cannot make this up. In just 2 minutes, Deville was pinning Ember Moon. I need another coffee, man. My throat's all fucked. Deville's pinning Ember Moon. I can't even. I already went over it. I'm not going to lose my voice more on this. This is tragedy and criminal to levels we've never even seen before in this company. Main event, Kofi Kingston. Yeah, that's right. We're already at the... Did anything I go over even interest you at all? You could have missed this whole entire show and not missed anything. Kofi Dolph, 2 out of 3 falls. Kofi is still slinging pancakes like an IHOP cook that just quit and is throwing a temper tantrum on the way out the door. Literally. How can you not look at Kofi and not think of just a disgruntled IHOP employee? And he's chucking pancakes as he leaves. Fuck you, you're cool, fuck you. And he's slinging pancakes. You'll never work here again. You're fired. Kofi takes fall 1, who the fuck cares? Dolph takes fall 2, who the fuck cares? And Kofi takes fall 3. Who the fuck gives it? Well, actually, that saves us from a nonsensical triple threat match at Extreme Rules. So I guess we should care a little bit. That was your main event. That was literally, I can't. I'm done. We're gonna get some coffee. We're gonna hit the gym. We're gonna fucking just, we're gonna pound out a lot of fucking errands today that we gotta get situated, that we've kind of been putting off. And that's that, man. I'll absolutely try to hit you guys with an impromptu video this week. Obviously, the podcast, I believe we're up to the 22nd episode. That'll be this weekend. Hopefully, I'll get that out early to you guys, maybe Friday. So there is still more content to come. I definitely want to go over the whole Seth Rollins situation. I don't know if that'll be in the podcast or it's separate video. We'll see. Seth Rollins is making waves and pissing a lot of people off. On one hand, I love it. On the other hand, it's like, dude, watch your comments. They could come back to bite you in the ass. This has been a tragic week of WWE television. That's just the way it is. The pay-per-view wasn't devastatingly tragic because the first half of it was actually okay. But then Raw and SmackDown, they were just, they did not bring it. The creative, the booking, the superstars, just everything felt off. And I really hope this was just an off. I mean, for the past several years, the product has been off. But just exceptionally over the course of the last 48 hours, I'm hoping that is just I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I'm hoping we just don't have to talk about this product in that way for a very long time, if ever. Because this has just been a tragic 48 hours of WWE television. You can say 24 hours, right? 8 o'clock Monday to fucking 10 o'clock Tuesday. So what is that? 26 hours of tragic television. They cannot do that again, man. That was sad. You could see the tarps Tuesday night on SmackDown. We saw the tarps on Sunday. We saw the tarps covering empty seats on Monday. But when you saw the entire left side for SmackDown, that is 3 nights in a row that the entire left side has been blocked off. And not just that, the entire upper section of all these arenas. And you're telling me this company isn't hitting an all-new low, a whole new rock bottom we never thought possible? Bro, then you're just denying the facts. I'm the Amplified Man. And for now, check you later.